Not at all thrilled with GoPro this morning. Lately. Actually, even when I try and do live streams from the mountain or whatever, I'm not really thrilled about the GoPros. Flip on my recording light here. The background noise might get bad because I might have to turn on the AC. It's hot down here. Not Arizona hot, but it's hot. Alrighty then. I think I'm gonna get started. We need to do anything else? Nope, looks good. All right, welcome to evidence-based audio number 177, and this is string tension versus spring tension. And I'm gonna try and get my mic here. If anybody knows a better stand, like desktop stand, than this Rode one, it doesn't seem to be able to carry heavy enough microphones, and it just isn't all that adjustable, and it isn't all that robust. And usually Rode's pretty good about that stuff. So first of all, I was trying to get a keyboard sound in my Helix, and thanks to Glenn DeLune, I was able to get a pretty good organ sound, but not really thrilled. Kind of wanted more of a trumpet, strings, pads kind of thing. And the guys on the site told me check out Jam Origin, and they had a thing called MIDI guitar, and it can run on your iPhone. And crazily enough, you can use your iPhone with the USB port as an input and output, or as effects in your effects loop if you need more plugins, because there's audio units plugins available on Mac. I think Audio Bus. There's a couple things that you can use with this, and a couple plugin formats. I know we're being on Juice. One of the reasons we do our plugins in Juice is because we want to make sure that we're able to port for these other devices and everything. And I was playing piano with my guitar. And the crazy thing is it's doing it polyphonically, like it's tracking each individual string somehow. And it's tracking better than those old MIDI guitar pickups. And I own these things. I really like the GK or whatever, the Boss's MIDI or Roland's MIDI pickup. I had one of those U-Rock guitars, which was, I know you guys are going to get mad, but it's actually better than I've ever tried a MIDI pickup. I tried the one, I think it's from Fishman, and it was okay, but, none of them have worked as well as this software does. And I know a lot of people have been talking about polyphonic tuners, and we talked about them on here, and I think I might have actually gotten it wrong. If somebody has a bone to pick with me on how I was talking about polyphonic tuners, let me know. Also, like something like Digitex Drop, let me know, because I'm still pretty confused on the polyphonic thing. But a few years ago, maybe it was more, Celemony, who makes Melodyne. If you don't know what Melodyne is, it's like a pitch correcting plugin. You can use it for making harmonies and changing rhythm and stuff too. It sort of what you would use Auto-Tune for. And I know everybody calls it Auto-Tune, but they don't understand that the majority of the good work done in it is in manual mode. Same with Melodyne. Melodyne's a little bit different, but they made something called direct node access. And let me just read this from you. To DNA direct note access is the technology that makes it the impossible possible by allowing individual notes in polyphonic material for the first time to be identified and edited. The unique access that Melodyne has long offered to the pitch, timing, duration, and other parameters of notes in monophonic material is now extended through DNA direct note access to include notes forming parts of chords. Like Melodyne itself, DNA direct note access is a development that radically and forever alters the handling of audio. In the world of digital image processing, it has long been possible with the right software not only to correct depicted reality down to the smallest details, but also literally to create new worlds, images that depict with total credibility something that has never existed. DNA direct note access offers Melodyne users comparable freedom in the fields of audio. Melodyne with DNA direct note access. I'm sorry this sounds like an ad, but I'm just kind of reading how this works. Allows you to intervene in the audio material in ways that were unthinkable before and that range from subtle enhancements to recomposition. When at the beginning of 2008, DNA direct note access was first demonstrated, it created a considerable stir. A few months later, a film team visited Melodyne's inventor, Pete Neubacher, I'm not sure how you say, in his laboratory to find out more about this revolutionary technology. The results of a 14-minute interview. I guess, I was hoping they were going to have a Bytes version of what this actually is. DNA lets you take a guitar chord that's already recorded onto one track and split the individual notes apart and tune them individually. I mean, it's magic. This is stuff we thought was going to be science fiction, just a few years ago, It's incredible that it works as well as it does. I was extremely skeptical of it. I've had to try it a few times. I would still rather somebody play their guitar in tune, but maybe that doesn't even matter later on. I know we have those like auto-tune guitars or whatever. I was blown away when I had to use it for a little kid's choir thing, and it's just magic to me. I love that we live in this age where we get to see this kind of magic happen to us and happen around us. And I think it's something like this that's making Jam Origins MIDI guitar work. I can't believe it was 2008 when DNA came out. Jeez, it felt like yesterday. Ugh, getting old. But this Jam Origin thing, this MIDI guitar, it was in real time, and that was something about DNA where like, well, it's not going to happen in real time, but maybe it will. And never say never, but I mean, it really felt like, really felt like science fiction. And I'm telling you, if you don't understand like MIDI guitars and hexaphonic pickups and things like that, it seriously let me play this thing in real time, and it just happened. It was just absolutely incredible. So I was playing piano chords and everything, and I'm sure there's better ways to do this. I've seen these, what is it, the Roland, there's two guitar synth pedals. Let me just pull them up. Pedals. And actually, thank you guys on the gear page. I know I always talk a lot of crap about TGP, but they suggested this way to do this thing. So Boss has these two pedals, the SY1 and the SY200, and they're supposed to do this much, much, much better. And then Moore has one that was like, I think it was like $100 off Amazon. Boss one's a little bit expensive for something I may not even ever need, but plugging your phone in was pretty cool. But I saw videos of guys like playing Van Halen Jump on these things or something. And Electro Harmonics has one like called the EH9 or Synth 9. Is this one? Let me pull this up. $260. I don't know what that is in 80s dollars. So maybe this isn't even expensive. But I think these things are polyphonic. I want to find a video. I'll just play a Sweetwater video real quick.
Music can now be produced entirely by electronics. Coded information is punched out. An electronic music synthesizer.
Ooh, I know Sweetwater's not throttled. Is my internet no good? Yeah, I
The
don't want to be messing around.
multi-voice synth has a tone control and a 4-octave selector knob.
Let's see the, wow, why is this taking so long to load? Internet's been crazy slow lately, and I don't know why. Yeah. That's incredible. I've got a tribute band playing Dio's Last in Line, so I wanted like kind of a strings, orchestra, trumpet kind of thing. This is perfect.
This track also uses the mood bass and string synth.
I don't know if this works better or worse than the iPhone one. It's just incredible that this kind of thing is happening right now. It's really cool. Let's see the Boss one. I know there's one where somebody was doing some kind of... What is going on with this internet? Sorry, guys. Let's check out the Sweetwater.
Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. This guitar, you just plug your regular guitar. Next up, we have pads.
Again, no MIDI pickup.
Synth basses.
Guitar output is concerned, the biggest factor really is the amount of output. You know, so it's
See, I really like this polyphonic stuff. That's pretty cool, though. Anyway, I'll stop bugging you with this. It's just incredible to me that we're able to, you know, first it was Melodyne's DNA, which was just mind-blowing, and now to think that you don't even need a MIDI pickup, and you are off and away playing keyboards, and better than it ever did with the MIDI pickup, at least whenever I tried it. All right, so next thing. See if I can make this work. There we go. Welcome to my desktop. And I tried to do this with the GoPro, but man, the GoPro just really sucks. Speaking of which, if you guys know a camera that I could use, Scott Veenstra had some good examples. I really just need a camera I can either stick on here, use it as a webcam, but it also records. So when we're doing interviews and stuff, it doesn't have to be great. Yeah, see that this is the Portuguese in me. This is professional Velcro arm hair. So, but you know, I know you guys have seen me doing a lot of guitar tech stuff lately, but you know, I'm not a real guitar tech really. I mean, that's how I got my start, but I mean, I'm qualified to do some things and not others. I did order off Amazon a whole bunch of shrink wrap. I can't imagine, you know, back in the studio days, a box like this, pretty sure it would have cost hundreds of dollars. So we'll see if this stuff is any good, or if it, you know, maybe the heat shrink shrunk on the way here with the on the boat or whatever, right? But I'm telling you, this stuff cost me like $30 or something. It wasn't anything. Let's take a look inside here. But we're going to be doing guitar repairs here at the school, I think. We'll probably put a price list up soon. 180 pieces of this, 140. You know, these giant ones got 40 pieces. This is so much. Like, I can't imagine how much this would have cost back in the day. This is nuts. 45 millimeters, 45 millimeters. These look like the same things. Oh, 2.5 versus 2. Oh man, I ain't even gonna know. This is just cool though. So I might need a different shrink wrap gun. I've got a giant heat gun, but it should be fine for, you know, it's all scale, right? If you're gonna be doing this a lot, you're probably gonna do something else. And this was like this another thing on Amazon. It's a wiring box with all the different color guitar wires I was gonna need. It came with a bunch of zip ties. It came with some shrink wrap itself. And it came with this thing, which we will see whether or not we actually want to use this. But it appears to be a cutter and a stripper. I don't think I would dare use this on any multi. Actually, how would you even use the cutter part of this thing? Let's give it a try here. Here's some white cable. If anybody uses these things, let me know. Certainly didn't cut. I think that, yeah, I'm not really sure how that would work. Let's see how it works as a stripper. There's not. I'm gonna put it on the smallest one real quick and just pull. That didn't work for crap. That didn't work at all. Let me try this on this thing again. Thinking of this as a stripper rather than a cutter. Nope, didn't work for crap. All right, well, ooh, that is pre-tinned wire. I am not sure how I'm going to feel about this. When I get to soldering this, I'll let you guys know. I usually have very bad luck with pre-tinned wire, and I know you shouldn't, but I always do. I could never really get it to stick the way I wanted. But for today, and the reason of this title, string tension versus spring tension, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't get that on a better camera to work here, because just see what happens if I take down this light some. Is this thing going to be a little bit better? Not really. It's probably better with the light. Sorry. So what we got here is a Music Lily. Let me just pull it up on the other screen, I guess. Music Lily. Yeah, this one's on Amazon. Let me try and get my Stream Deck over here. I got everything all tangled up. Right monitor. So this is, if you were here, you know, I'm always talking about these, you know, the problems of having a floating Floyd Rose, floating tremolo. I was running a floating tremolo for maybe a year, maybe a little bit more. My whole life, I've either kept them on trem setters or I've made them dive only. I am not thrilled with the trem setter compared to what's out nowadays. You know, those Geldo black boxes and everything. So this one is the it's Music Lily, but it's their version of the ESP arming adjuster. I mean, it really is what it is. Here's a better look at it. It looks like it's got a ball bearing end. It's like the Geldo back box. In fact, let's just we may as well. Last word. So if we go to last word in Tremolo Stabilization, this guy's got a site that's got kind of everything. Joe Emanaker, I don't know. So there's the Ibanez Backstop. Let me go to the back box. So if you guys actually, let's start at the beginning. This is probably the one, if you guys ever tried these Tremolo Stabilization devices, this is probably the first one you heard of. And very likely, the reason you don't like these things is this device. And it worked for what it was. It didn't really explain very well, or maybe I just didn't understand back then, but it's real flimsy. What it's meant to do, let's just get to this. So on a floating tremolo, the tremolo comes to rest when spring tension equals string tension, so that your tremolo springs back here. If they're equal to the string tension, that's where your tremolo, in theory, stops. There's a lot of problems like binding and, you know, getting bound in the nut, which is why Floyd Rose has got lock nuts. You know, there's all kinds of ways, other things that modify it. But in theory, this is where it's going to stop. And these devices, like the trem setter, they're meant to counteract that a little bit by adding a bit of force against the tremolo pulling up. For instance, like if you broke a good intentions. Oh, I should have named it that. Thank you, Sam. If the this has a little bit of counter pressure to keep it from, if this tremolo, if you're pulling up on it, for instance, or if a string came a little bit loose, it's pushing up against this bar, so it won't go backwards. Other problem that we're dealing with these things is the dive. In fact, I think this spring right here, man, I have this. I always have these so wrong. One of these moves to stop the tremolo from diving, and the other one stops it from pitching up. One of the problems you always see is when you are on a, well, let me switch screens again here real quick. Sorry. Oh. If you are on a Floyd Rose, watch this bar right here. So if I, this is the pitch, right? So if this bar dumps forward, the pitch is going down. Now I'm going to bend the string here, and you can see the bar moving, right? So that's a problem. That bothers some people. I actually got used to chasing the note. I'm okay with it, but again, I when we record these things, I would often block them down. If they weren't using the tremolo like extensively, I would really block the crap out of them. This is just a nightmare recording with these, and I am not happy with it floating. It's just too out of tune for me. I don't want to put. I may be playing in a band soon. I don't want to put my audience through that. So. I was gonna lock them back down to dive only, but I gave one of these a try, and so the one let's go back to this real quick. So for a little while, this the Geldo back box was the thing, but even then it worked pretty good. I didn't really think about using it the way I should have, and so I've taken all of mine off of these, and again, the way this one's going to work, it's pushing up against that bar from backing up. But what good is it, for the other direction? It needs to do both. And so there are things like this. The Ibanez Backstop, we put one of these on last week or a couple weeks ago. I put this on my other guitar. And it wasn't this version. It was actually a brass version, which actually looks a lot better than this, I think. And the reason I put this on was that I just saw a video with Steve Vai where he was using this. And that guy whammies the hell out of everything. So if he's going to use one of these things, I'll give it a try. And so far, so good. And I also have, well, let's see. Let me look at the ESP arming adjuster. So let's take a look at this one. So this is pretty much what I've got here. This Music Lily's version of this thing. Might be smaller than the real one is. I'm not sure. This looks awful small to me, but I could just be looking at it wrong. This is not two of them. I mean, if you look at the backstop, you got two devices. You've got to make them exactly equal, and I'm not sure that I needed that much. I play on 8s, even though I'm playing on a 7-string. I play 8s, so I don't know that I need that much pressure to hold the thing. And the thing that was really bothering me was pulling up, because right now I can finally do some pull up stuff. And with the double one, it was kind of a lot of tension that it added. So I'm going to see how this single one works. So let's just get to it. This may, like I say, this may be like watching paint dry, so you don't have to, but I'm gonna take a look at this device first before I do anything else. So first of all, I wish I had a better camera. I'm really sorry about this. It has a ball bearing at the end, or it has a rounded end at the end. That maybe it's not, doesn't seem to be a ball bearing. One of the things I was worried about was this actually a spinning ball bearing, and is it going to clank around? But no, it doesn't seem to be. I wonder if there's any way I can get better lighting in here. This thing feels awful small, actually. I wonder if the ESP arming adjuster is bigger than this. But so the way this thing works, let me see if I can, let's see if I can't zoom in on this a little bit. I had a GoPro, or actually, let me take a look at the other. Okay, I'm full screen. Let me take a look at this one. So if I hold this up, that's a little bit better. And you got to see my ugly face. So there's a spring in here, and that is going to push up against the tremolo bar. But what is stopping it from pulling? So, actually, so if we think about this, let me think about this right. It's normally pushing up against the bar, just the tiniest bit. You're going to have a little bit of preload. Oops, let me put that on here. Pushing up against the, not the bar, the sustain block of the tremolo, whatever that big old thing you guys buy the giant ones of. So it's going to be pressing there, and that's going to keep the tremolo from pitching up. Especially like if you bend a string and there's a little bit less string tension, is it going to jump up there? So it's pushing on it at all times to try and keep it from going up. But what if when you push down, now you're into your tremolo springs. This thing has no effect on it. Once it passes once this ball stops touching the tremolo, that's the springs that matter to this. So this is a spring here that's going to decide how hard it is to pull up. And this thing has two different screws, and one of them, I think, is going to be what I'm going to use to move the plunger in and out. And then one of them is going to determine how strong the spring is. Okay? But they work together, so I got to really think about this. So if I screw this all the way in, so that's making the springs tighter. And if I want to make this move the bar out but keep the spring at the same time, maybe I hold this screw here, and this will set where the tremolo hits. And one of the mistakes I made, well, it's working fine. I don't know. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's not. But I had this thing too far away, or actually I had this thing too far in, so that no matter what, it was always going to push. I think maybe I could have a little bit more space because this thing's got a lot of range of adjustment. So let me think about, see if somebody has an installation. Maybe it's even on there. Let's go look at it. Music Lily, no name. Music Lily arming adjuster instructions. Actually, I should just look up the ESP ones because they're probably. Yep, there's some videos here. Automotive, huh? ESP, how to set up ESP arming adjuster. Let's see. There's the backstop instructions. Here's the well, let's see what they say at Gem Site, like the Steve Vai Hangout. Okay, self. Trick is to get it string set up. All right, so I need the installation instructions. Let's look for that real quick. ESP arming, install. Lots of videos, but I don't really want to. Let's see. I could pretty much use the back box instructions too. Let's how to install. No, I don't want the video. How to install the back box. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's just read this. So this is going to be pretty similar. In fact, I think this is going to be exactly the same. Locate the two knurled knobs. One on the outside of the frame, adjust the position of the pusher, which will be contacting the tremolo. The other knob is inside, between the ends of the frame. Adjust the pre-tension and the spring. Become familiar with which is which and how they work. Okay, so, but keep in mind that the outside screw does change the spring tension because you're bringing that thing in. But really, we're going to be able to loosen it a bit with the other knob. So. Okay. Let's see. English translation. Let's see if they got instructions someplace. No. All right, somebody's got to have instructions. Adjust the positioning knob so the rod is just flush with the knob. Just the positioning knob. Which one is that? That's the outside one. Okay. So the threaded rod is just flush with the knob. Okay, so I've done that. If you have to remove springs to fit, then you get the springs, decide the rest position. And yeah, they're going to block the tremolo. And I keep seeing this, but I'm not really sure I want to do it that way. But we'll try it. Let's try this way. My concern is where exactly do I screw this in? Like that, I don't want to make it too far or too shallow or whatever. But let's get back to here. So let's get this guitar apart. Let's get to it. I may or may not be able to keep using the springs in the arrow configuration here. And I'm not sure that I'm going to block off the tremolo. I'll read it and see why they really do that. Let's see. Find a block, chunk of wood, roll of coins, stack of playing cards. Let's see. To block the tremolo. You do this by inserting your spacer block between the tremolo block and the back away from the neck. So I can do that in a second. So I really am probably going to get some better guitar tech and tool stuff soon. Probably going to need that. Okay, and so I definitely need a little tray where I put all the parts and screws and junk. Because now I'm going to bounce them all over the place. I'm going to lose everything. And I'm going to be really upset about that. So what can I do about that? I don't know. Just put them here and we'll hope. How about that? It's a bad idea. Okay, so with my setup, I can definitely still put this in with the arrow. And one thing about this compared to the back box, thankfully, holy crap, thankfully, is that the screws are on the outsides. They're here. All these screw holes are on the outside of the unit. With the all the other things, oh man, they're underneath here. You got to try and pull the spring out to put it in. It is absolutely a nightmare. But this one is going to be easy. I just jinxed myself. I shouldn't have said that actually. But so the part that I really want to know is where do I put this thing? So if I really think about this, the furthest this bar is ever going to move, if you're really cranking on it. So I have tons of space. I could put this anywhere really. And is there a reason to not put it near the edge? Just in case you ever want to move it, I guess. So really, I'm gonna let it touch it. Maybe I shouldn't even do that. Let me make sure I'm thinking this right. So when if I have it here, say, and okay, let's say if I have it at the very end and I need to get a little bit more length, can I get it? Or no? Okay, so I do have a little bit of concern about what the length is going to be. So let me put these in. If I ever need to go farther. Ooh, well, here's a problem. The finish on the inside of this guitar is nasty. There's like some, oh man, there's some varnish that wasn't, I mean, nobody's going to touch it down there, so they probably don't care, but get some guitar tools. I just got one of these guitar tool sets that had like a pile of files of questionable origin, so. But they'll be probably great for this. I could use a sanding block. I could just pull the springs and everything and really clean this up, but I think I'm going to be okay. Yeah, here's a nice flat file. Wow. You about want to use a router on this thing. Whew, those are stiff. All right, I don't know what this thing is, but I'm going to use it as an eraser. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Maybe I'll take one of these sanding sponges to it too. Yep, this is watching paint dry. If you guys know or remember, there was a very popular guitar tech people would go to from all over the world that was in Phoenix. And he was notorious for being a complete peckerhead. Grumpy, just absolutely a nightmare to deal with. Very short with everybody. I'm probably going to try and take his place over here for that exact same thing. So, and it seems like wherever I put this thing is going to be more than enough. Let me just hold it here. I should throw the bar in, but about, I'll just leave a little bit of bar so I can, let's just say we can get another bit. So I'm not sure why so let me read this again. Strings are at the pitch, tremolos in the right place. Install the back box in the position so that it almost touches the trem block. Drill a little pilot hole. Okay, it's position the pusher. If it's extended too far, you see the back box move and you pitch the tremolo. Okay, so I don't know. I really wonder how I should space this out. I mean, if I ever need to move it further back than it is, I may not. I know I'm being crazy here. I don't really need to be this paranoid here, but I'm gonna tension this thing so that it's holding itself up. I really like this ball bearing thing because the other one had a like all the ones I've ever seen. They have like they just slam into the back, and that it's a little tricky, especially when you got a double one like that. This one is like not a ball bearing. It's just a rounded end, but looks like it's a lot nicer to deal with, and it's got a little pad. And I was actually using O-rings to try this out, but oh man, I'm gonna lose all these screws that I need. Okay, so there's a little pad. And I think this is to keep it from slamming into the tremolo. I was going to use a tool dip. I put Velcro in mine, I think. What did I end up doing? I think I took it off, and maybe I'm not using anything. And maybe I'm too whatever, the A word of a person to actually use something like this, because it is a little bit variable, and I'm kind of finicky. But I'm going to put this on here and just see how it works. So hopefully I put that far enough to the side. Yeah, I'm just eyeballing everything at this point, but we'll be okay. Okay, so we might have to take this bar out. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little drill. I'll be right back. Bits. Some big bits. I don't need the big bits. Just bought a new thing of drill bits too. Where did I put it? My old one. That's not it. Oh, well. Don't wanna hit these without a pilot hole. Screwdrivers. And here's my new drill bits. Okay, so I really need to make myself a tech bench for real. I got some ideas. Okay, I had a 16th inch bit, but man, it is close to the size of this screw. This screw is so tiny. I'm not sure I should use this bit. Man, they're so small. I'm almost questioning whether I really want to put a pilot hole in. Even my tappers are too big. So, see if I can't get a bite on it. Let's just see. If it starts pushing wood around, then I'm gonna get worried. But I'm telling you, these screws are so small. I'm almost wondering if they're too small for this application, actually. So, anyways, let's get a good mark. I have a punch, but I have a feeling I don't really need to use it here. I keep thinking about getting one of those scalar, whatever, shirt claws. They look handy. Okay. This is operation. I may not have the dexterity anymore for this. Oh yeah, these are tiny. It's going right in. I should just mark these. So am I looking at a 32nd inch for a drill bit? God, it's tiny. Let me see if this will even go through. I'm gonna pop a pilot hole in the top. I could use my punch actually. It's even fit. Ooh. What I could do. Let me take a test piece of wood here. I got a charged battery. This one's a little bit anemic. I'm really scared I'm gonna snap this one. Okay, so I'm gonna find a little piece of wood. I have a scrap piece of wood around here. Okay. Well, it actually has a pretty good bite. Okay, so I'm just gonna pre-drill this. Now, I used to have this little kind of gum that you would put down and stuff like this. You could hold it in place. Okay. Put this in. I'm going to tack this one in, and then we'll see where the rest will line up. Oh, time to get some magnetic screwdrivers, huh? Hopefully that's not going into a pickup, right? You never know. So that's why I'm not drilling this too deep. Oop, that went through something. Oop, that went through something. Oh. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's right where my pickup is. Let's see if we still got audio after this. And I probably should have put some screws in before I kept going. It's been a while. I'm gonna turn on the AC. I'm sorry about the noise. Oh, dag nabbit. This is, like I said, this is magnetic screwdriver time. This one magnetic? I think so, but might be a sharp one. Nope, not magnetic. Bummer. I don't really have the eyeballs for this anymore either. And if that's gone through, I hope it bites hard enough. These just don't feel that strong. And I dropped one right into the tremolo cavity, so we'll see if I can't get that out without too much trouble. I really got to get that gum stuff again. That makes putting in these screws and stuff pretty easy too. I see people doing them with needle nose pliers too. That's something I should need to invest in. I need some new needle nose. Yeah, this does not feel like a very solid bite. We'll see if this is going to hold up or not. I've got to get this screw out without loosening it. It's like the one thing in this school still with carpet in it, so one room anyway. Here we go. Got it. See if I can still do this stuff. Yeah, it's coming back to me. Yeah, it's not biting very hard. Probably glue this thing. But, you know, this one might be coming out, and I might be putting... I've got a double one of these on order, And so I might be using that instead, but let's see if this is enough tension. Just this one right here. Okay, so this is in. Several ways to do this. I want to make sure that I'm pre-tensioning the springs so that this is actually getting hit. And let's get on a tuner and start figuring this out. Man, I scratched the hell out of that nice guitar. Sorry. Go and plug into a tuner. Oh, speaking of which, I need a screen capturing program that can record the last 30 seconds, you know, like the NVIDIA one or the Microsoft Game Bar one do. But I need to capture the entire monitor, not just the active window, for some tech support stuff. I know I can do it in OBS, but it's not ideal. 25. Just gonna put retune on here. Set for 100. Okay, so this thing is being pushed on, I think. Find out. I think it's being pushed on, and so it's gonna make it a little bit flat. Yeah, I can hear it hit, so I can feel it hit. Now, one of the things that I want to happen is when it hits, I don't want it to keep going when I let go, and that is where that counter tension really comes in. And I was thinking about this wrong the last time I tried this, so hopefully this will make sense this time. Okay, so these are all being pushed down. So I'm gonna look at how flat the tremolo is to the body. It looks good to me. So this is the position I want the tremolo in. I'm going to have to get a little bit more pitch out of it, which is okay. So let me. Oh, I put one of these tremolo tools on my back of this neck on this guitar, but I'm not sure that I like it or love it. We'll see. We'll see if it holds up. It really feels like it's going to fall out at the show. My other ones, I don't worry about at all, but I just didn't want to screw into this beautiful guitar. But then again, I knocked the chip off of it. I shouldn't even care. All right, so let me tune this. Let me get these. You know, this is a Floyd Rose Pro. It's kind of expensive, and I really don't like the feel of the fine tuners. They are bad compared to even like the Floyd Rose Specials and things like that. This is horrible. The original Floyd Rose I have that actually came on this guitar is pretty good, but this Floyd Rose Pro feels like crap, man. Like I had to have it because it's oil slick, right? There's no way I'm not getting an oil slick tremolo. But man, it really feels junk. I'm sorry. Okay. Because this is floating, this may be that as I'm tuning these up, the other ones are just going to fall completely apart. Nope. Okay, so this thing's already doing something. Oh, let me do this. Sorry about that. I put it. Whiteboard capture. What is this? Okay, here we go. Oh, but it won't show that. Oh man. Come on. See, I have a problem that it doesn't get can't get plugins. Garbage. Okay, let me I'm just gonna do a right monitor with this one then. So sorry, let me get this. Add. display capture. Where's the right monitor? Add display capture. Okay, sorry about that. Display 2. And all I want is can't remember how to do this. I just want the tuner. There we go. Yay. Okay, so now we got the tuner. You can see what's going on. There it goes. It's kind of in the way. Doesn't need to be anywhere near that big. There we go. Okay, perfect. Or something. Okay, so this in tune. Okay, so now that I've pitched this thing up, has it left? Now has it moved away from the pin here? And I think it has. I think that I'm going to need to increase the spring tension just a little bit. I didn't want to do too much, so we're going to just go a little bit at a time. I want to see that it's still flat here. It's come forward a tiny bit, but not by much. I'm going to increase the spring tension at just a tiny, tiny bit to force this thing down. Now, you could set these things up pretty stiff, so you could just about break a string and probably still stay in tune. Especially with that double one, I'm betting. But this one, not quite that much. But see how I'm a little bit higher now? When I lower this pitch, see I can feel it and hear it hitting now. When I lower this pitch, what I don't want to happen is that the spring tension is so strong that it's going to make it rest in the wrong place. But I'm going to drop this pitch until it's back right again. And I can always add more spring tension. And I used to really overdo this. And so I'm thinking that nowadays I want to be a little bit more mellow with these things. I just need it to help. I don't need it to be perfect. I need a little bit more than that, though. I'm not sure how this the little piece of plastic I put in there for the shock mitigation is going to make trouble. What I don't want to happen, like I said, is when I let go of it, does it keep going back? And it kind of, I think it is. Let's see. So what you want to see, I'm gonna lock this back up. I don't think I'm gonna need to do any really coarse tuning adjustments anymore. I think this is good. You know, this is famous last words. But... okay. So I can hear it hitting. But what I want to do is, when it hits, I don't want it to go any further. Now, it feels gross slamming into this thing when you're pushing and pulling. And I don't think there's any way around that. That's why I'm really surprised that Steve Vai uses these things. Because he's just so fluid with his tremolo. I'm not the biggest Steve Vai nut in the world, but I really like his stuff. Okay, so I can dramatically lower this spring tension here. I'm thinking about pulling the springs a little bit harder into this thing, and honestly, just it feels barely on there. But let's give it a try. One thing that I'm worried about is this thing could just go turning. It's very loose. Like, what's to keep it from just spinning out and changing? Because if that changes, then I'm in trouble. Like, that's going to change where the tremolo's sitting. I might have just messed it up right now. I'm not sure if it's staying put. So I'm thinking, are you supposed to put Loctite in here, or should you put a counter lock nut on here? I'm gonna loosen the spring a little bit, actually, but I'm gonna try and keep the tremolo in place. So I'm gonna loosen it a lot. Oh wait, that's way too much. Okay, So you can actually loosen this thing to the point where it ain't doing jack. Which unlike the other one. So. Well, I really don't have a problem with this resistance pulling up. I'm not sure that it's going to be enough to keep the. Let's see if you can see this. So what has to happen here is as the tremolo bar. So I'm pushing it down, so it's lowering the pitch. So when I let go of this, it's going to hit that bar and stop from going any further. But if the spring tension is too much, or the springs right here are not enough, it's going to keep going. So I don't want, when this thing stops, I don't mind if it bounces here, but it better stop. It better still be up against this collar. And I'm surprised that with the spring that loose, it's actually working. So I'm kind of thinking I might want to just put a single on my other guitar. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a little bit of exercising and let's see what happens. Second. Hello? Yes. All right, so tuning. Hopefully this is staying put. We'll see. I might be pulling away from the edge. Second here, I just got to send the number. This is the caveats of doing live stuff, right? Please call Monique at. Go. Okay, sorry. So I'm just tuning this guitar right now, and I'm seeing if this thing is actually moving out of where it needs to be. Like I say, the fine tuners on this Floyd Pro are bad, man. I really do not like them. This feels. Yeah. See. I don't know if there's a way to fix that or what. But yeah, the fine tuners are horrible. Alright, and this thing cost me a chunk of money. I expected much better. And everybody's always like, don't use a imitation Floyd Rose, use an original. But you know what? I've never broken a saddle until I owned a Floyd Rose special anyway. At least, I mean, it's an official Floyd Rose. It's made by them. Okay, so what I'm worried is that whatever tuning I just did, tell you what, for now, I'm going to go real conservative, and I'm going to set the spring really stiff. Just to be safe until I'm used to this thing. And even when it was really stiff, it wasn't bad. But next time, I'm going to put this plunger a whole lot closer. You guys see, I don't know if you can see from there, there's a good almost ½ an inch of thread showing. So I could have had that thing a lot closer and not worried about it. This is kind of nuts, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe screwing something up, actually. Let's see. So with this, oh yeah, the spring is much more solid now. That inspires some confidence. And when you got it set like this, I'm telling you, intonation is so much easier. Woo! Really need to ride my bike more today. I might have screwed something up on my coaster. Okay. stupid face. You gotta get on this tremolo here. I don't know if you can hear that knocking. Actually, not bad. Okay, so here's one test. So I'm gonna hit the low E string. Watch the tuner. I'm gonna bend the G. So, and I don't mind too much. In fact, here's a test. Okay, so this is important. So let's take a look at the tuning. Look at where the trend's going. I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit. So if I push it down and really let it go so you can hear that knock. Okay, my E's good again, okay? So I'm gonna bend. I'm gonna just do a bend, and I'm not gonna bring the tremolo back. Bend, 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 bend. Time a couple chords. Now I'm gonna hit the E string. See that? So that could mean that I need a tiny bit more spring tension on here. But again, we don't want this to back up though, right? So if we put too much spring tension, it's gonna start pulling off the bar. So far the spring is sufficient, and I've got it kind of tight, like I said. I'm gonna tighten this up just a tiny bit, just to know that this is gonna come back. I didn't do it by much. And again, I don't want it to turn into this really stiff tremolo that I'm not going to want to use. Right? That's how I have my dive only. Like, I got them cranked on this. So when you hit, I mean, I still use it, but it's not pleasant. So let's pop up a up some multi-effects here. All right, let's see how this works. Tell you what, that's certainly way the hell better than the full floating Floyd, huh? Let's take a look at this again, though. Since I tightened the springs up, there's the dump. I'm gonna let it go. So it's still gonna be a little bit flat to hit that bar again. So that's how I've lived my whole life, is just keep resetting the bar by hand. But it seems good, man. This is just a single one, it's a lot less tension. Let's see if we can do the Rocky George, okay? Let's see if it'll work. It's really getting hard, man. I don't know how Steve does it if it's hitting. Actually, that's not that bad. Where's the tuning going to be now? Let's see if I get a good stretch. I don't expect anything to work very well once you pull up on the tremolo. So I don't know why I'm not just setting these to dive only. Just being a meatball. I should just set this to dive only and not worry about it at all. This is really taking a giant step forward. I don't know if this thing's back to itself out. I almost think I need to put Loctite on here to keep this thing from moving. Yeah, this is really dropped this tuning a lot. I don't know if that's just because I was pulling up, I'm stretching the strings, but I'm pretty far into these tuners now. Fine tuners. Give you a hint for being in a band and not wrecking your chances of anything. Never be more than a foot away from the lock nut Allen wrenches that you need for your Floyd. Just don't, man. There's no point. Don't do it. You always see these people with their fine tuners bottomed out and they're out of tune through the whole show. Just have that thing with you. I got this thing on the back of my neck. This isn't great. I don't like this. I really think this is going to fall out. But we'll see. I have other ones that are really solid in there. I didn't want to screw into this guitar, but I think I'm gonna, because this one is a joke. This one is called the Shred Neck. It's just not confidence inspiring, and it's flopping all over the place at this point. Maybe if I put a piece of tape on it or something, but I should have to. But then again, having a big old neon green or yellow tape on something, not a bad idea for live. So drop the thing on the ground. I'm just gonna wrap a little bit of electrical tape on this thing and hope that it stays in better. And I'm probably just gonna order the regular ones that I use that I never have problems with. I'm just be done with that. It's not like I ever sell my guitars. I love my guitars. That was pretty good. So, we call this one string tension versus spring tension, right? We didn't break that rule. This is also spring tension. And that's just a little bit of counter. I think that's good. I'm gonna clean up, and I'll see you guys next week.